Right, the Public Relations Department, it's been fairly low-key at the moment, but after this event we hope to ramp it up. I'm just going to quickly go through what we've been doing at the moment, but more what we're preparing to do. Three main areas. I'll just go through quickly who we are, looking at the individuals who comprise the PR department at the moment. More to sort of say that we are not professional PR people, we have had some background in sales and advertising and marketing and that sort of thing, so we appreciate any volunteers from wherever you come from if you've got time to help us out. You don't have to be professional PR people. In fact, it probably helps not to be professional PR people in some ways, so we want to try and be a little bit different how we do things. Then I'll look at the media plan that we've got down in our constitution, how we want to run it forward and develop it, and then I'll look for volunteer help and say how you might be able to help us if you've got time to do so. Who we are, I'm Julian Snape. Quick, my background, professional background, I have a career of introducing and marketing innovative high technology into different types of companies, all the way through from water authorities to working with Apple Macintosh working with Apple with the Macintosh computer in the early 80s. Unfortunately, I sold my shares before 1990 when Steve Jobs got kicked out, so I should have hung on to them, otherwise I'd have a lot of money to donate to the party now. Custom resource management systems I've developed for book companies and games companies. I now run a Technovation Anglia, which is a disruptive technology consultancy, more for the small to medium businesses. So I'm connected in my day job with what I'm trying to do for the party as well. Transhumanism credentials, I was one of the first 6 people in the pub way back in the 1990s when we started out in the Piccadilly Waterstones, and then we moved across to Holborn in the Wetherspoons there, just meeting together, discussing the future, how it would affect people in society and business. And then we took up with Conway Hall because we had people who wanted to come in and do speeches, and we did talks amongst ourselves, and it gradually grew and grew, and it's become finally as big as 4,000 members with David running the London Futurists as it is now. So that's my background. I've been in British transhumanism for the early days, so I'm trying to get the message out now for the party. We've got the Deputy Officer, Dave Woods, who unfortunately can't be here today. His early career was focused on advertising to small, medium businesses, and it's becoming increasingly digital over the last few years. Again, he's joined the party quite quickly and assisted a volunteer with the PR and campaigns team. He now holds the Deputy PR Officer. He's currently focused on development of the Transhumanist Party media presence in the social media side of things. There's more about that in a minute. Media plan we've got on record at the moment, which is basic media plan which we will be developing, divided into 3 areas: proactive, reactive and resources. We can't obviously do anything without the resources to do it, and that's not just monetary resources. So on the proactive side, we're obviously going to do the standard thing, which is press releases, which we've been doing already. We've not had that many, but we have had a few. We're going to start producing official press releases. We're trying to sort out the official, we've already sorted out the logo, but the presentation and so forth, and the accredited journalist list that we want to go to. And also developing good relations with sympathetic journalists out there and other media organisations where we can. There are a lot of media organisations who are very interested in the type of technology that we're talking about that we can develop good relations with. Literature, we want to build an evolving range of Transhumanist Party literature that can be used for all things, for campaigning, for education and so forth. Just touching all the concerns that transhumanism and transhumanist politics addresses and highlights, as well as developing further positive proposals for transhumanism and political transhumanism going forward. This has been made available obviously to the media and to local transhumanist groups and local transhumanist parties to disseminate throughout. And again, we're looking for volunteers to help build this all up and come back to us with ideas for this type of literature. Our initial focus is going to be on education, as Alex already mentioned. Making sure that the word transhumanism becomes a recognised term. I was going to say a liked term out there, but we're going to become a recognised term first of all. Obviously it might be some controversy before, but if we can get it recognised and get it understood what it is, at least we've got a starting point, and that starts to happen with Alex, his 59 people on the doorstep campaign there. So and this is to the general public as opposed to the transhumanist community out there who obviously, and the high-tech community out there who've got some idea of what transhumanism is about. We want to promote obviously party policy that will start coming out at the second half of this meeting, and try to set the agenda for debate on some of the more advanced issues that we are very interested in. And also, very importantly, we want to try and ensure that you guys as party members are kept in the loop on a very, very regular basis. So we want to create a very positive feedback information loop with party members, so we can get your ideas on things, and we can put out our ideas, and we can eventually come to a synthesis of what we want to promote out there to the general world at large. Reactive, we want to keep everyone out there in the party and beyond and support us. If we can keep a watch on what's going on out there in the mainstream media, in the technology media, in the social media, if there's anything that's being reported out there where we think we might benefit from a Transhumanist Party response, to come to us, to come to the Executive Committee and say, look, have you spotted this? Do we need to respond on it? And following on from that, sometimes it does take a little while for us to work through our policies and how we can respond to things, and what is our perspective on it as a party at the Executive Committee level, to actually generate a formal official response. But we might want to respond quicker than that. So what we're looking for is members of the party and supporters who can go onto the social media sites where it needs some sort of immediate feedback. We'll be doing it on an official party level, but we'll hopefully follow that up with the official party line on it, just to respond to it and again get the transhumanist opinion out there as to what's going on with the various issues that crop up from time to time, increasingly regularly. Platforms and resources, again, social media being an IT savvy party, we ought to have that really well sorted out, and then he's starting to go ahead now. And Stefan will tell us all about it, the IT side of things later on, but I'll just run through it as far as the PR side of things is concerned. We've already got a Facebook group out there, which hopefully most of you are members of, and you can get information through that. We're just setting up a Twitter account. We had it for a while, but Dave Wood is now taking on handling the social media. He'll be taking on that, and you'll start to see tweets coming out soon. We've got LinkedIn, which again he'll be working with, and others to be developed. Merchandising, again, I think David mentioned this, we're hopefully developing a range of merchandising which will help generate a bit of extra funding for the party, but also people can wear it out and about and around the place, and a bit of notice, and it helps with the PR side of things as well. Outreach, again, I mentioned it, assisting any local transhumanist groups or even futurist groups who are not directly transhumanist related but might have sympathetic people within their ranks. We'll certainly help them with literature, with speakers and so forth. We can do that. And the official websites we've got at the moment, we've got the transhumanistparty.org website out there. Hopefully you all know about that. We have got a forum out there as well. It's not been heavily used at the moment, but we probably want to make more use of forums out there. Twitter, I just mentioned, should be live very shortly. Facebook we've had for some time. Also, Dave Woods is setting up a YouTube account today, so that should be live. He'll be talking to Stefan about that shortly. He's spending his whole day on transhumanist themed work, as he couldn't be here today, so he's still being useful for the PR, even though he can't be standing here. Member involvement, very important. We are a membership party. We want to get feedback from you guys and help and volunteerism for you guys as well. You make the whole thing happen. When Eyes Open policy, again, I've mentioned if you can spot things that are happening in the media that you think we ought to respond to, that we might not have spotted, hopefully we'll spot them at the executive level, but there's only a few of us at the moment, so we need as many eyes out there as we can do to look through what's going on. And again, resources, simple things like having people access to printers, colour printers and things that can help us print literature and media. We all use our own printers or office printers if we can do it and get it with it, and they don't mind and so forth. But anyone who's got access to printing material for hard copy or any other type of resources, we'd most appreciate it until we build up the funds to start paying for these things. And again, volunteers, anyone to help the PR department, please see myself afterwards. We most appreciated, not just for ideas, but actually for help out there. Lots to do. Again, so please ask me afterwards, or if you can't find me, ask Amy or any member of the NEC committee out there. Thank you very much. That's the PR approach.
You've got a couple of press releases already under your belt, haven't you?
We have, yes. Yeah, I have. That mainly came from Amy to start off with. Yeah. Yep.
Now, coming back to what was mentioned yesterday about the philosophy, At the moment we're in a paradigm shift from the current economic to the sharing economy. Can we do a live demonstration potentially later of the sharing economy and how it can propagate?
Well, that's something that we have to look at. I don't think we've got anything prepared today for that.
Right.
But certainly those sort of things I think we'd be interested in, but that's probably not for today.
Demonstrations.
We've got a volunteer for a demonstration at some stage.
In the longer term, I think creative, interesting live events are going to be really important.
Yeah.
Make them fun, fun and interesting and something new. We're not ready yet, but it would be brilliant to really go down that road.
Yeah.
Well, we all know what the Singularity University capacity exists already in the cloud and the interfaces between Siri and Google, so let's just all switch our Bluetooth on.
But fundamentally, we're just going to need some help to put things like this together.
Want to volunteer for the IT side of things? Then
just a couple
work with Stefan.
Just a couple of points.
Yeah.
So one's trivial, but
Yeah.
it's still practical. So when I saw Dave Woods,
Yes.
and I saw an email saying Dave Woods wasn't going to be able to turn up, for example, I thought it was Dave Woods.
Yes,
So
it is.
if we can do anything different,
Yeah.
it makes it clear that they're different, or we just
Yes,
talk
well,
about that now and that's it.
that's why I call David Wood and Dave was Dave. So it's
I'm DW2 and he's DW1. No relation.
I've DW1 and DW2. Yes.
Manus
Second
hash and
point
Manus
is
plus
a
plus.
point about branding, I think maybe as part of PR, and we've
Yeah.
had a few conversations yesterday that will follow up, and I've seen a couple of things now that I'm reacting to a little bit, like TP as a little thing that's a reference to the party, as opposed to say H star or something else. Now,
Yeah.
and what I've seen in the past in companies, for example, is they spend quite a lot of money on paying people to brand
Yes.
and then documenting the brand guidelines so that everybody else knows how they
Yeah.
should be consistently
Yeah,
referring to things,
exactly.
so that when the public get to hear about those things, they can identify them
Yeah.
correctly and they make sense.
Yeah,
And
on
they're
message
not
on message
contradictory.
brand consistency is going to be part of it, but at the moment we're still in that development stage, so we're even having movement this morning about what the brand is going to be and how it's going to be put forward. So
So
it's not
the
it's
message
not
making sense, I think. But
yeah,
that's
we're in an early stage at the moment. We will start to sort of it will start to solidify what the brand is, and that will be. Yes, I'm well aware that we need a constant brand out there.
What is the overlap, if any, with Transpolitica?
Well, probably more for David.
Transpolitica reaches out to people in all parties, so we're working with transhumanist sympathisers, whatever party they may already be committed to. The Transhumanist Party takes a view that they'd actually like to be a party in its own right and actually get candidates elected into positions of public influence. So there are two sides of a unified movement.